Welcome to Kemi Talks, November 19th, 2019. And this is Kemi Talks Stories, real life stories that I witnessed. Well, a lot of you always wonder when I brag saying that I sent myself to school abroad and my parents didn't even know. Well, I'm going to explain to you exactly what it is now. There is a video of my father saying these things, but none of you paid attention. And that video was in my laptop that the armed robbers stole. So I'm going to tell you again. Some of you saw it. Truly, you can send yourself to school abroad if you know how to do it. Now, why were we all abroad very young? In 1977-78, there were all kinds of teacher strikes in Nigeria. It was one of the worst times for teacher strikes. The government never met their demands and they went on strike for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months until it became 1 year. We're not talking about ASU strikes here. Okay, those ones came after the Constitution was written. These were not university strikes. These were basically primary and secondary school teachers striking. And what happened? People started sending their children abroad. If you think it was only the politicians that sent their children abroad, that's not true. A lot of people send their children abroad. You had to know what's going on and the system that you need to be in to send your child to school in London, United States, or wherever. In those days, everybody sent their children to the UK. Okay, and what happened was that it was so cheap. All right, tickets were 400 naira return on Nigerian Airways. Okay, 600 naira for first class. I remember my mother used to buy in 4 or 5 tickets and stash them into the house so she can travel back and forth with them. In those days, there was no penalty. You can buy all your tickets and travel whenever you want first class. But ours was 400 naira return in the regular class, okay? At the end of the day, when the plane crashes, everybody dies. It's not about your first or your economic class. Okay. We didn't need visas. If you went to school in England, you just got a 2-year, okay? And if you were just going to visit, 6 months, leave to stay, you got to the airport, everybody got on the plane, you got to the airport, you were stamped 6 months, just like Dubai does now. That's how it was in those days, all right? But now we have to apply for visas, we have to do the mental slavery thing, we have to produce a bank statement, everything has changed. The system has become rotten. Our leaders have done some things that have caused these embassies and countries to require new things. And our youth have become criminals all over the world with Yahoo fraud and stuff. So these countries have to carefully screen who's going into them. Okay. By the time I graduated high school, I was 14, 15 almost, in 1980, and I went to do my A-levels abroad. Many people sent their children to do A-levels abroad. The school fees was only 1,200 naira a year. 1,2 a year. 400 for your ticket, so that's 1,600. Some people are saying the money in those days was not as worth as what it is today. Lie. That's also mental slavery. 1,600 for my ticket and my school fees in those days is the same 1,600 today. If we only channeled our strength into making the Naira stronger. That's why they call me Iya Naira. That was my nickname in America because of how I love Nigerians, help Nigerians, and channeled my energy to making Nigeria a better country. Some of you think they call me Iya Naira just because of the Naira Marley thing. I've been called that for a long time. At the end of the day, if we had channeled our sources right, we will still be in that 1 to 0.5. Going to America for the first time, I remember coming home to get my money changed and everything. 10,000 naira. That's how much my dad gave me to go change for school. After adding my expenses, I walked into UBA Molete Ibadan to change my 10,000 naira. Came out with $14,000. My sister changed pounds. Theirs was like 12,000, pounds. That's how the money was in those days. Okay, so how did I send myself abroad? They sent us to do A-levels abroad, okay? We're in England. When it was time for university, my father was running for governor of Oyo State in 1982-83, and they told us that we should start looking for university choices. Everybody looked for something else. My older sister looked for universities within England. My younger sister went back to Nigeria to Ahmadu Bello University, and I looked for schools in America. Nobody in my country had ever been to America, okay, except my uncles. My uncle Shegun, late Uncle Shegun, Professor Shegun Olunloyo of Unilag fame, he went to Cornell University in New York. And my uncle Femi Olunloyo went to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and Harvard University. We're a family full of intelligence, okay? When you hear Olunloyo, it stands for education, okay? At the end of the day, yes, my father was Commissioner for Education twice in Western Nigeria. And my sister Funke was also a special advisor to the governor on education during Ajimobi's reign. Okay, Olunloyo means education. We were the first to go to school. Yes, the first girl to go to school in Ibadan. Her name was Yejide Olunloyo. David and Anna Hinderer were the ones that took her to school, the missionaries. And her brother Akinyele, who ran away and said, those white people want to eat us. The joke. Everybody knows that joke. Okay, so you've heard it all. The one thing about the haters is that Olunloyo women don't go to school. They're not educated. Lies. It turns out that all the Olunloyo women are educated. And I'm the most educated out of all of them. I'm the only one that has the 3 degrees, let alone 3 first-class degrees. Okay, back to the point of how I got abroad. So Daddy said everybody should start looking for schools. I went to the library in England. I went to school in Oxford, England. Oxford, where I did my A-levels, okay, and I got straight A's. The American exam. I went to the library to check a book, Education USA book. Guys, in those days, it was just a book, all right? You look through this big Bible book of all the universities in America. Look for what you want to study and look for the universities that have them, and you study the universities. Honest to God, I didn't know who had snow, who had hot weather. I just picked the universities I thought were highly rated. The Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science said, we are the oldest pharmacy school in North America. Excuse me. And I saw all the graduates. The graduates of the school were the names of pharmaceutical companies. The Glaxo family, the Eli Lilly family. Everybody went to their school. I decided, let me pick this one. University of Southern California, Los Angeles. I didn't even know that California was where the hot weather was. I picked that one too. Massachusetts, something. Michigan State University, chemistry, I picked over there. I picked chemistry and pharmacy, and guess what? All the schools accepted me. But I went to the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy because it was the oldest school, and there was a lot of famous alumni, and he had a good reputation. $5,000 a year, okay? Today, my school is almost $38,000 a year, $5,000 at that time. And I enrolled, and I did the SAT and the TOEFL exam. They wanted you to do SAT and TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language. I passed it, got everything right. The SATs, the hard exam that the American children never pass. I aced the SATs. My score 1,600. That's like getting a perfect score in the JAMB. Okay, you didn't get one question wrong. And then all the universities accepted me. There was one university that accepted me for chemistry, but I didn't go there. And somehow I regret it. Harvard University in Massachusetts. Yes, Harvard accepted me for chemistry, but I wanted pharmacy. Some people said I should have gone to Harvard just for the name. Yeah, but I wanted to be a pharmacist. I don't know if I wanted to be a chemist just for the name, but Harvard standards and the PCP standards, Philadelphia College of Pharmacy standard, was pretty much the same. I mean, if you say, what pharmacy school did you go to? Philadelphia? Oh, the best, the number one, the oldest. The Canadians had no school. They came to our school. That's why you see a lot of older Canadian pharmacists. They'll say they went to Philadelphia College of Pharmacy. Like I said, it's the first pharmacy school in North America. Okay, so after applying, I chose Philadelphia. I then was supposed to go and start school on the 25th of August in 1983. My father was running for governor. I had no idea of anything happening with his daughters and what school they were going. The governorship race was so vigorous, it got violent. Lots of people died. But at the time when they really started the campaign, I had to go. They said she has to go to the American embassy. The embassy? And she has to be in school on Monday. This was a Thursday. And because President Shagari was the president, he was running as well. And he was going to win and start a new administration October 1983. So Shagari used his power and called the embassy and told them that one of my candidates just won governorship, will be sworn in. His daughter is going to a pharmacy school. My father found out I was going to America 30 days before school. And they told him. So they rushed me to the embassy. The American embassy, yes! There was no other embassy, no Abuja. Abuja didn't really exist. But the U.S. Embassy, the consulate in Lagos, they called my dad and said, bring her in on Saturday. Saturday? Me alone? That's why when I went to the U.S. Embassy 2 months ago to get my son's passport renewed, everybody was clapping for me in security because I said, me alone, you opened this whole building for me in 1983. Everybody was clapping. Yeah. One Oyibo man said, that's true. We did open this building on a Saturday for her. Her father was a governor-elect, so I remember that. So at the end of the day, guys, I went into the embassy, got a visa. It wasn't F1 because I had 3 days left for school. Monday, remember, they gave me a B2. and I still have a copy of it. I'll post it online for you. But I now traveled, and it wrote in the B2, one-on-one student expected in classes, 25th of August, da da da. I traveled to America alone. My dad said, okay. My uncle said, let her go, let her go. My dad didn't like America. Let her go, let her go. Uncle Femi has passed away now. He died about a month later after that. And I went to America. And I went on a good, nice scholarship. Okay, so after like a year, I got a scholarship and everything because I was so brilliant, And I finished at the Philadelphia College of Pharmacy and Science. Okay, and I did an external Pharm D. And from there, I decided that I wanted to be a publicist. I was working in the pharmacy and I love public relations writings. What's public relations writing? Those brochures that you read that says diabetes brochure, high blood pressure brochure. Who are the people that write these things? PR writers. So I went to Goucher College, Maryland to study PR. Night school, 6 to 10 every night. After I've worked 8 to 5 at the pharmacy. Tired. My baby, KJ, KJ wasn't born. Wait a minute. Pharmacy school. And then, PR school, my little boys, my 32 and my 28-year-old boys. Those were the little ones. They were the babysitter a lot. KJ was born during the journalism one. But anyway, at the end of the day, we spent a lot of time at the babysitter. My children were there till 11 at night because I was going to school and coming to At the end of the day, I graduated from public relations school, Goucher College, first class, and I don't think Goucher does public relations anymore, but I got my certificate in public relations. And then I like what the PR people do with the journalists. When I became a sudden PR person for CVS Pharmacy, after an old woman crashed into the store. She wasn't injured, but the media came and flocked around the store. There was no spokesperson, and my boss said, talk to the media. I was in front of all these 10,000 cameras, and before you know it, I went to study PR. And after PR school, I liked the journalist on the other hand. I said, let me be a journalist. So I tried that. And then I graduated, became a journalist. While I was in PR school, I paid with my pharmacy salary. At 22, I was making $50,000 a year. That's the standard salary for a 22-year-old new graduate at that time. 1988, $50,000. Everybody ran to the car dealership, bought their new car, got a nice house, everything. That's how it was at that time. So I drove Toyota Land Cruiser, 4Runner, Sequoia, Highland. I love Toyota trucks. I have driven everything you guys are driving now. I've lived the lives you want now. At the end of the day, I paid for my journalism school with my pharmacy salary, and I paid for my PR school. My father didn't even know I got a degree in PR until when I returned back to Nigeria in 2012. I kept learning, and my dad paid my tuition for the first 2 years of pharmacy school, and the rest I got a scholarship. So when you talk about politicians send their kids abroad with your money, my dear, it's not your money, I sent myself to school abroad. I did very well. I got a partial scholarship to finish 4 years out of my pharmacy school, and I used my salary to pay for my journalism and my PR school. So don't get focused on thinking that politicians spend your money to send their children to school. During the time we were sent to England, a lot of other people sent their kids to England. They were not politicians. They were not the elite. They were market women. Many market women in Balogun Market, Allen Avenue, all these people, they knew about abroad. They sent their kids abroad too with us. Many of them went to school abroad with us. Yeah, I went to school in Oxford with Funke Awolowo, Segun Awolowo, Yewanti Oyediran, Kemi Oyediran. All the Awolowo grandchildren went to school in Oxford and London. And the Sarakees were also in the UK. Bukola was doing medical school. Gbemi was in school in England. The Falawiyas, name it. Everybody. Segun Cole, everybody was there. Aside from the Ikoyi life, when Ben Bruce, Guy Bruce, and all the Bruce brothers were doing the Silverbird concert promotions and everything, everybody now went to England. We come back for holidays. We enjoy ourselves. These are true stories on Kemi Talks. So don't sit around with ignorance, think that somebody spent your money to go abroad. I financed my own education and I kept learning. And I still want to go to law school one day. So keep learning and stop focusing on this politician, that politician. That's the talk of children of the poor. If your parents are poor, it doesn't mean you have to be poor. Empower yourself. Go for the gold. You're never too late, Nobody's ever too late, and no woman is never too late for any woman. And that's something that Tiwa Savage told me. Tiwa, thank you for that. Never too late, This is possibly my longest Instagram video, but learn from that. I sent myself to school abroad. I did what I wanted to do. And my father, he's only been to America one time.